Chinese coffee chain Luckin has filed for bankruptcy in New York. The company says it's negotiating with stakeholders to restructure its financial obligations and strengthen its balance sheet. Weilin Tang finds out what the sentiments are like in China, the company's main customer base.
In a February 5 filing, Luckin Coffee filed for bankruptcy in the United States. This comes less than a year after it acknowledged it fabricated millions of dollars in sales and misstated other financials.
In a statement, Luckin said all of its stores remain open for business and that a Chapter 15 petition filing is not expected to materially impact its day-to-day operations. Now, speaking to staff members, it appears they haven't heard of the bankruptcy news yet, but they said business has been as usual since news of the company involving in fraud broke out a year ago.
It doesn't make a difference to me, as long as the price of coffee is about the same as before, somewhere between low to middle end, where we civilians can afford, then it's fine. What's important to me is also food safety and the taste of it.
But I think for social impact and, like moral kind of level, they should do something to consider the social responsibility. But for normal consumers, I'm like, people need it. People still like it.
This bankruptcy move comes just 7 months after the company's shares were delisted from Nasdaq. And keep in mind, Luckin had just about a 1-year run of trading on the exchange prior to that.
And we actually have seen a lot of good examples that some company can still survive by filing for bankruptcies, but at the same time, moving on with its new life. So I would say that it's really a good move.
Obviously, with what happened with the company was a case of integrity, but it appears in general, some Chinese consumers don't seem too fussed about this aspect as they look for things of value.
Absolutely. But in the longer term, I do believe that the interest of the consumers and the interest of the investors and employees are the same. And if the company cannot actually, present its integrity to the public, then it may not survive in the longer term. And I do believe that, Luckin Coffee, with its past accounting scandals, actually hurt the reputation of the Chinese company. So in that sense, I think it really creates a lot of challenges for the Chinese company going abroad, becoming more and more international. So I think this is actually a great lesson to be learned.
Jason says China's coffee market is booming, and he believes the pie is big enough for other players, including Luckin, if it plays its cards right. And what's key here, he says, winning the trust of all stakeholders. Weilin Tang, CGTN, Beijing.